Dr. Joey Faucette, coaching you to work faith positive and increase your faith with greater joy at work so that you love God and others more. This week we're talking about one thing you can do to make friends at work. Scriptures read, we don't evaluate people by what they have or how they look. God uses us to persuade men and women to drop their differences and enter into God's work of making things right between them. Become friends with God. He's already a friend with you. That's taken from 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verses 16 through 20. Some friends invited me to do my annual renewal at their beach home, so I accepted, right? Access is by four-wheel drive only, so you don't have a lot of traffic or people. This is a perfect place to get away, or so I thought. I went outside to check the oil in my vehicle, had my head under the hood, when all of a sudden someone said, "Hello there." I hit my head on the hood, and I turned around to see a guy standing there. He had this long white beard. He was barefooted, and he wore an old T-shirt and a raggedy-looking jacket. And my first reaction was, oh, goodness, a vagrant has walked 5 miles off the highway and found me. I'm going to die. I sized him up. He was short, and I decided I could take him, or at least outrun him. So I prepared myself for springing into action. And then we started talking. Well, really, he talked, and I listened intently. Turns out he knew my friends who owned the beach home. He called them by name. Turns out he was a retired college professor, now a beach bum, who lives 2 lots down. He chaired the Department of Athletic Training at a major university. My daughter majored in athletic training, and he knew her chair. So instead of fighting or outrunning him, I relaxed. Paul writes to the Christian business people in Corinth, and to me, perhaps you too, saying, we don't evaluate people by what they have or how they look. God uses us to persuade men and women to drop their differences and enter into God's work of making things right between them. Become friends with God. He's already a friend with you. The truth is, you and I do evaluate people by what they have or how they look. And every time we do, we stop working faith positive with God. So what's God's work? To persuade men and women to drop their differences and enter into God's work of making things right between them. Before you and I can persuade men and women to drop their differences and make things right between them, we have to drop our own. So how do we do that? Paul says, become friends with God. You know, friends spend time together. They talk, they play, they relax. The more time you spend with God, the more you talk with God, the more you play with God, and the more you relax with God, the less often you choose to judge others over petty differences. You avoid judging and you accept others when you're friends with God. So do this one thing to make friends at work. Become friends with God. Then watch as your faith increases. You have greater joy at work and you love God and others more as you work faith positive, even in a negative world. Coaching you to work faith positive, I'm Dr. Joey Faucette.
Discover your free Faith Positive coaching program. Be still and know at getpositive.today/faith-positive.